Hey guys. So I apologize up front because for the weekend I realized I did not release a video. My brother and now sister-in-law got married, and so that was where my time went, and I didn't realize it until midnight last night. But today's video is called Delayed Obedience is Still Disobedient. And so I want to talk to you guys about the first things that God instructed me to do a little bit prior to leaving my corporate job. So on the last video, we highlighted live prayer. So that was something he instructed me to do, was to go live on Facebook. At the time, now I do it on YouTube and Instagram, but at the time to go live on Facebook and pray for his people. And so I even shared the first live video I ever did on Facebook, and the quality was garbage, but it's being obedient more than it is perfectionism, right? And so another thing that God had gave me, this was actually before I left corporate America. I was sleeping in my bed, and he woke me up in the middle of the night, and he gave me this slogan. And so I put it in my phone really quick, and I said, okay, God, what do you want me to do with this? And I just kept hearing t-shirt. And then he gave me like the spirit of rest came back on me, and I fell back to sleep, and that was it. And so the next morning I woke up, and he told me to go back to the note that he gave me. And the slogan that he gave me was, PCOS said no, but God said yes. And for those of you who do not know my full story, I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome, or PCOS, back in 2010 or 2011, after my husband and I had our miscarriage, and were trying to conceive again. That's what they told me was causing the delay in fertility or in conceiving. And so he had already instructed me at that time to start writing my book, or my story about my infertility journey. And then he wanted that shirt to kind of be a bundle package of when I was finished with the book, to offer the t-shirt to the PCOS community, and to really get involved in advocating for women with PCOS, whether trying for a baby or not. Now, I didn't know any of this at the time because to be honest, I was very uneducated on what PCOS was. My doctor was my OBGYN at the, when I found out, was very uneducated. Like, we sat in his office, and he literally Googled like PCOS, symptoms of it, what not to do, and things like that. And so because I was new to it, I didn't really think it was anything that a lot of people suffered from, until I really began to share my story and talk about it. And I realized, like, women right in my neighborhood were struggling with it as well. And I found out that so many people were dealing with it, or so many women were dealing with it, that I actually connected with a PCOS organization known as PCOS Challenge. And we actually went to Congress and spoke to legislators and people in government to try to really move the needle of getting people more educated on what it is, so that we don't feel like we're kind of fighting a losing battle when we're speaking to our doctors and our nurses and anyone we have to come into contact with, when really trying to get a grasp on not only what it is, but how to deal with all the different complexities that come with it, because everybody doesn't have the same symptoms. It doesn't affect everyone the same. For a very long time, it was really delivered that the only people who had PCOS, basically from what I got, was people who were heavier set, people who struggled with their weight or ate bad and things like that. But then I met quite a large amount of women that actually have PCOS, that are very thin women. So that really X that out, right? And so I say all that to say that the things that, seem like a hurdle, or seem like are brought into your life to kind of hold you back, kind of hold you down from your purpose, or who you're called to be, or your promise, or your blessing, are actually there to teach you lessons and really grow you, but also for so many other people if you're intentional about opening your mouth and sharing it. But back to the story. So he gave me that t-shirt slogan, and I literally spent 24 hours sitting in my kitchen table, really coming up with not really coming up with, but allowing the vision that he was showing me in my head to come to life, really. God has a way of showing me images of things he wants to happen, and me holding fast to that image until I see it. That happened with my last book. I saw the cover. He showed it to me over and over again, but I was like, I need to be able to articulate this to someone where they can make that vision come to life. And when my friend came back with the cover, I was like, that was it. So that was what happened with the t-shirt. And so here it is right here. It says, when PCOS said no, God said yes. And then it has the beautiful butterfly on the back, and it says polycystic ovarian syndrome awareness, because I really wanted it to be an awareness t-shirt, or he really wanted it to be an awareness t-shirt. And then inside of the butterfly, it has just some inspiring words or motivating words for people that are going through it. So faith, because you need a lot of faith. They're resilient, they have strength, they have power, they're loved, they have hope. And so this was the shirt. And so delayed obedience is still disobedience. And so for those of you who God has been instructing to do things, remind yourself that he doesn't want it to be perfect, that if he's telling you to get it done right now, he has already taken into account everything that you feel like you need to get it done, but he's still telling you to do it. The other thing that he told me to do was write my book. And that was really, really hard, because I did not realize, and I was actually having this conversation with my mom the other day, I did not realize how much of the infertility journey I did not live because it was happening in real time, right? How many times we lose a person and we don't really get to fully grieve because we had to figure out the funeral arrangement. We had to figure out, who's going to take over what, and all those things that we don't really get to grieve until maybe a year or two, maybe even sometimes 10 years later. And so that's what infertility was for me. That process was so just multifaceted in regards to, there was components with my marriage, there was components with myself, my identity, there was components with friendships, there was components with weight, there was components with just a whole bunch of components. My family, them not really understanding what PCOS was, me not understanding what it was, and trying to articulate something I'm still becoming knowledgeable about to other people. And then just coming from a family that everyone has children, so nobody really understood what that looks like, why that's happening to you if it didn't happen to anybody else, kind of thing. And so here I just wanted to share with you all my very first book, A War I Couldn't Win Alone. And this is what it looks like. And I love the cover. It is literally a hand that is about to drown. Like, this is all they have left that is reaching reaching out is the hand. And around them is the storm. And what I love the most about this cover is you probably can't see it up here. But inside of the water, I put some of the things that was trying to take me out the most. And once again, the young lady who did this cover, she was able to grasp the concept so well. Like, I saw the image, but I just tried to explain it to her, and she came out with this. And so we have right here loneliness, love, we have identity, we have pain, hope, and depression, because those are the main things that were really trying to drown me at the time. And I really tried to win this war on my own, but I realized I couldn't win it at all if I didn't include God in it. And so to end this video, I want to just read you guys the introduction of this book. And I'll be sure to leave in the show notes or in the comments how you can purchase it if you would like it. But the introduction, and on all my chapters, I always make up my own quote that I feel like the Holy Spirit instructs me to write. That will kind of sum up the chapter, or the introduction in this case. So it says, sometimes our healing is released once we tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. I've told my infertility story so many times I've lost count. I've talked about the feelings of loneliness, betrayal, low self-esteem, and inadequacy. I have even talked about all the lavish spending to deal with my emotions, numerous outpatient surgeries, and the overwhelming emotional roller coaster the meds sent me on. However, when I get to the part right before my miracle was conceived, there's a part of the story I chose to always leave out because of what people would think and how it would shake up life as I've known it for so long. But I am learning to be vulnerable in ways I've never been before. So here goes nothing and everything all at the same time. I will only tell this version once, so turn off all distractions, get comfortable, and listen closely. Now, to get to the part I always failed to divulge, it's only right that I take you back to where it all began. So that is the introduction. Once again, it's a war I couldn't win alone. This book actually is an award-winning book. I actually won in 2018, because I think it came out in 2018, the DMV award-winning Black Author Award through the Black Authors Expo. And so, yeah. So make sure you're obeying God, and you're obeying God swiftly, because once again, delayed obedience is still disobedience. And if I didn't learn anything from being obedient to God, and even the process of coming out with the t-shirt, coming out with the book, what I learned was that there was so much healing in it for me. I think sometimes we feel like, oh, I'm going to do this because there's other people counting on me. I'm going to do this because God said that I'm going to set other people free. Not realizing that, what if the only person he wants to be set free from your obedience is you? You are worth the fight. You are worth the sacrifice. You are worth obeying God for you to be set free. And so I want to leave you with that you are worth being obedient to God just for you. Not for anybody else, not even for your bloodline, not even for your children. You yourself are worth being obedient to God for your freedom, for your healing, for your joy, for your peace, for your love. You're worth it. So can't wait to talk to you guys tomorrow and share what we have on this journey of birthing the prayer piss for tomorrow. But for today, until next time.